I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right.
G'day guys, Tiny here from Offtap Brewing. I was asked recently on a video about sparging and whether recirculating through sparging was a good idea or not. And I thought about typing an answer onto that and then realised there's a bit of theory in my opinion behind sparging and why we do it. So I thought, well, perfect opportunity, turn the camera on, do a video for you guys. Now, this is advice that, this is knowledge drawn from my brewing experiences and what has worked for me and what is working for me on my current and, well, all my brew systems. And so yeah, you guys might like the information or you might not, or you might agree with it, you might not. But this is what's working for me. All right, sparging guys, in my opinion, sparging is necessary with brewing because you need to rinse the sugars from the grain. You do, if you want to build your efficiency. But with doing that, you're going to increase your volumes, and there's a trade-off, volume over efficiency, blah blah blah. Remembering that in the end we can boil longer. You know, you can add an extra half an hour on your boil time or whatever. You can compensate for this. Now I'm drawing this information from a big brew day we did, Keza and I, and we decided that we were going to do a barley wine and we were going to get mad efficiency, mad alcohol out of this beer. We were going for 20% and, you know, all these sorts of things running into it, you know, in all its, in all our naivety. And we decided that we were going to have enough grain to mash in 3 times in the Braumeister. That's 12.5 kilos each time. So that was a big brew day, mashing in 3 times. The first mash, I think we maxed out, like we got really good efficiency thanks to the computerized brewing system, the old fancy pants brewing. The Braumeister excelled, as it always does. And we were happy about that. We were joking around and yep, we estimated that the 1,050 we got the first time was going to be 1,100 the second time and 1,150 the third time. No, not at all. Second time we ran it, we got bugger all efficiency. We sort of thought about it while it was mashing and watching the numbers not climbing and watching things not changing throughout the mash, realizing that we oversaturated our water with sugar and the water couldn't pick up any more sugar. So, you know, that really dampened that down. But we did learn something big that day. You can't put too much sugar in the water. So on the third one, we emptied that water out and then we put fresh water in and we got the efficiency again. So we wasted one lot of grain, but yeah, we basically mashed in with 2 and a bit turns of the Braumeister, which was a big learning curve. So I took away from that, sparging is being very important. Recirculating while you're sparging from like the pot over the grain. If you're doing a low gravity beer, yeah, I think that'll work. Another thing I took out of that day was the high temperature, sparging with high temperature water. Yes, you can impart bitter tannins into your brew. That is a true thing, but I believe they're not at 85 degrees. I believe introducing tannins is damn near boiling point. I've never sparged with boiling water, but I do sparge with, you know, anywhere up to 85 degree water. So, you know, that really loosens the sugar up and brings them out. I don't recirculate my sparge, I don't recirculate my liquid through my grain bed. When I'm sparging from my mash tun to my malt pipe, I'm then pumping the liquid out into my big pot. So the 30 or 40 litres I'm putting into here in like 10 litre increments, it's rinsing that grain bed and then rinsing the grain bed in the malt pipe and then pumping into the pot. So I'm not actually recirculating the sparge or the sugary liquid. I'm just pumping cleaner and cleaner and cleaner water through the malt pipe. Because I do believe that once your liquid starts to get a bit overburdened with sugar, you are going to use your grain bed as a sugar filter, and it's going to start, instead of releasing the sugars, it's going to start trapping the sugars. So if you're doing I'm not working off numbers here, this is just numbers for example. So, I'm just pulling numbers from my head as an example. But if you're trying to do a beer that's going to have a gravity of 1,035, I do believe that you can recirculate through, because you're not going to have much sugar in there. But if you're trying to get a sugar of, say, 1,045, 1,050, 1,060, and that sort of thing, you've got a lot more sugar in there. Your rinsing ability is going to be greatly diminished. So it doesn't matter how you sparge, as long as you sparge with clean hot water, your efficiencies will rise. Now, I've brewed in a bag. I've brewed on a lot of brewing systems. I've got a Brewmaster, I've got mash tuns, I've got urns, I've done brew in a bag, I've done just straight Brewmaster, I've done Brewmaster recirculating through mash tuns, I've used a pot with an element in it, a copper tube to increase temperatures. I've done used 50-litre kegs as mash tuns, and I've tried just about every way possible of brewing. There isn't too many ways that I haven't had to play with it. If you've been watching my videos, you've probably seen a fair few of the systems. I mean, I've got a 7.5 litre brew pot and a 150 litre brew pot, so anywhere in between there with any sort of play around. So I have had a bit of fun with brewing, and it doesn't matter how you do it. I do believe that sparging is mega important. Now, things to remember: you are sparging with extra volume of water. One thing I do myself is I do a 90-minute boil. Even with ale grain, I do boil for 90 minutes. I use that first half an hour to boil down to my volume. So if I've used extra sparge water, I don't measure my sparge water, guys. You've seen my videos. I just fill a bucket and throw it in. If I've got to boil for an extra 40 minutes on top to hit my volume, well, so be it. That's due to my laziness. But I always get down to my volume. I always aim for my targets. If my gravities are out, there's things you can do. You can add sugar, you can add malt extract, you can do a lot of things if you've got the right amount of water and not enough gravity for your recipe. But you can, if you've got too much sugar and not enough water, you can add water for your recipe. You can boil for less. You don't have to boil for the 90, you can boil just for the 60, but I always try and get to my volume in that first half an hour or 40 minutes. Then I add my my first edition hops, and that's where my hour starts, and that's where my incremental hop additions start. But I always give myself the opportunity to have that extra time if I need it. I think that's important. I really do. So sparging with nice clean water, but not recirculating your sugary water as a sparge. I would go with clean water. Definitely every time. There's ways of fixing it if you go overboard. There's ways of pulling if you're high up. You got your head in the books and you got to hit all your targets without adding or doing extra stuff, and you've got it all loaded into your brewing software and it's all got to be this. Well, you can drop 3 litres out of your first addition of water to allow for some sparge water. So you can think outside the box a little bit and change a few things in your brewing software to compensate, for the extra water. Guys, it works. You will increase your efficiency with doing this, and you'll notice a big increase in efficiency. Even if it's a couple of litres, you'll notice an increase from one batch to the other. Alright guys, that's about all I can ramble on with. You know, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you like the video, please give a thumbs up. If you want to leave a comment and just say hey, leave a comment and just say hey. If you want to leave a question, definitely leave a question. There's one thing I love more than helping people out that are asking for help. I believe this brewing community needs people like that, and you know, if it's a in-depth enough answer, I will take the time and effort to sit down in front of the camera and shoot a video. Alrighty, remember, beer makes you smarter.
I am the stone that the builder refused. I am the visual, the inspiration that made ladies sing the blues. I'm the spark that makes your idea bright. The same spark that lights the dark so that you can know your left from your right.